Hello, Jayson.
Mike, how are you?
Fantastic. Now, Jayson, you just come back from obviously the Hall of Fame induction, so I want to talk about that first before we get to the business at hand, which is the trading deadline. Are you welcome every year you go back? Are you welcome with throngs of crowds when you go back to the Hall of Fame? Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it's hard to say who has the bigger throng, me or Ichiro, Mike.
Well, I know
close.
Ichiro was there this year, but there's got to be a Jayson Stark fan club somewhere around there, no?
I would say I probably signed more autographs that weekend in Cooperstown than the rest of the year combined. But just because, I can walk the streets and people kind of don't think of me as any huge deal. But in Cooperstown, that's kind of my crowd.
You're anonymous and yet you're a star there. It's a beautiful thing for you. Now this was.
I guess so.
Yeah.
It's really cool to be there. Because I'm in the writers' wing, I get invited back every year and get a level of access to people, to Hall of Famers, to the Otesaga Hotel that not everybody gets, and it's just magical. It's special.
Ichiro, you brought up. He had a couple of biting comments. I didn't know Ichiro was that type of cat.
He's a funny dude. Even when he was being translated from Japanese to English back in the day, he had a lot of memorable lines. But that speech was the funniest Hall of Fame speech I can ever remember. It goes on the Mount Rushmore of Hall of Fame speeches. How about the line about the Miami Marlins calling him and him telling them, "I have never heard of your team." Wow.
Yeah.
And he delivers this in English and nails every line.
In English. So now, when did he never spoke English as a player, had he?
Oh, okay, so he speaks and understands English fluently. He just doesn't choose to speak it in interviews in order to express himself properly in the moment.
Okay.
But when he can write it down, then it's no longer a problem. So he said that he wrote his speech in Japanese and then had his wife put it together in English for him. And he might have rehearsed it more rehearsals than he had hits, 4,000, something like that, because he just crushed it. I never met him before because he was never a guy that you could just chit-chat with.
Yeah.
So I did finally meet him the other day after the roundtable on the field and on Monday afternoon. I had to request permission from his people to say hello to him, and they said, "Okay, just make it quick." So I said, "I would like to say hello. I'm Jayson Stark." He looks at me and he says, "I am Ichiro." That's the coolest moment. Yeah, I know who you are, man. I do.
So he had to go through the protocol of asking his people.
Yeah, we wound up bowing to each other at the end. It was a really cool thing. The crowd was chanting during his speech, "Ichiro, Ichiro." He bowed after every time they said it.
Wow,
what a cool man!
So you
really
learned that bowing is good. You get a bow from that?
Yeah, I got to work on my bowing.
You'll pick that up pretty quickly. So let's talk about the main event for a lot of Philadelphia people. Is Dick Allen gets inducted, and it was very emotional. He had a lot of people there. Try to put that in perspective, what you witnessed and what you heard and all that.
Yeah, I know that people around the country and around the world are going to remember that as Ichiro's Hall of Fame induction weekend, but there were as many Philadelphians there, I thought, as from anywhere else because of what Dick Allen represents. And you used the word emotional. It really was. I was lucky enough to attend the party that the Phillies threw to celebrate this on Saturday night. And, Mike, I've been to a lot of these parties. This was the most emotionally powerful Hall of Fame party that I have ever attended. John Middleton spoke beautifully. People were in tears. Mike Schmidt was breaking up listening to it. Then Schmitty spoke. Described Dick Allen as one of the most career-changing teammates that he'd ever had. Mike Tollin, our friend, the filmmaker, working on a major Dick Allen motion picture, he spoke. And my friend Chuck Brodsky, the singer-songwriter, played a beautiful song about Dick Allen, and people were like weeping. I've never experienced anything quite like it. And he last played a game almost 50 years ago. It's very rare that a star player, and so many people's favorite star player from back in the day, waits so many years to go into the Hall of Fame, and I think that added to the power of the experience.
What do you think? Because Dick Allen was my guy too, growing up. Obviously,
Yeah.
What was it about him that it seemed like everybody else, like organization, the Phillies organization, had a problem with it. Fans always loved the guy.
Well, there was a lot of booing going on.
Yeah, well, except for when the headlight incident and all that. So when things went really bad, yeah,
it was a difficult.
But when he first came up,
in many ways. But I mean, here's how I've always tried to describe it to people: is even as a little kid, you have a sense for what human beings are capable of, what's possible and what's not possible. The baseballs that Dick Allen hit that never came down, where he hit them in old Connie Mack Stadium, over the billboards atop that roof, over the center field fence 447 feet away, over the flagpole. Like, humans couldn't do that. That's what I always thought. But apparently not. He was someone who changed my perception of what was possible for human beings. And so he was the first player I can ever remember where if Dick Allen was coming to bat, I wasn't going to do my homework. I was going to be late for dinner. Like you had to watch that. You might feel that way about Kyle Schwarber now, or Bryce, or Ohtani, Judge, but I never felt that way until Dick Allen came along. I mean, don't you think I'm capturing this? This is, there's documentation that nobody in history hit a ball harder or farther than Dick Allen, except for Babe Ruth. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing. Jayson, let me turn your attention to the Phillies and what's going to happen in the next couple of days. Everybody's on edge about it. I don't know what kind of feel you get for this at this particular time, but you talk to so many people. How close are they, and how willing are they to make a big deal?
Very willing. I've talked to Dave personally about this a couple times, and John Middleton was on our Starksville podcast today. Recommend that highly. He talked about the deadline, about Kyle Schwarber, and about Dick Allen. But Dave has described it to me this way. He is looking for someone who can get the last ounce of a huge game, who can do it in Philadelphia, who can do it in October, and who has been there and done it before. But who the heck is that, Mike?
Yeah.
The other thing is he would ideally prefer it to be someone who is controllable, who he would keep to solve their bullpen challenges beyond this year. Who's that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get it. I don't know. I'm getting the feeling that they're not going to do something. I really don't. I don't know why.
I disagree.
Well, I mean, I hope they do something, but I'm talking about something really significant. I'm not so sure they're going to get there, and I just don't know who that guy could be. Like, who's the most likely guy that makes the buzz here in town?
Yeah, I mean, you're describing it correctly. What they're shopping for is barely available. I know this would be surprising to people. I honestly think that their top target has become Griffin Jacks, who's actually the setup man for Johan Duran in Minnesota, but it really doesn't sound like they want to trade him. He's got 2.5 years of control, and if they trade Rohan Duran, then it sounds to me like they're being asked for Andrew Painter. Okay, and I just don't see that. I know they've definitely inquired about Mason Miller. It sounds to me like Andrew Painter would probably be what the A's have asked for him. I can't see them paying that price. Let me try to explain it to you, because hey, the owner on our podcast alluded to this a little bit.
Yes, we played the highlights of that.
Similarities. Yeah, this team has some similarities to 2011. Not as good, but will go as far as their pitching will carry them. And, they know they've got to fix the bullpen to make that formula work. But then the other thing that John said on this podcast was he looked at 2011 and what happened after 2011. And they don't want to do that again, where everything just crumbles after that. So this is a really pivotal year in the life of the franchise, because it's time to start infusing the next core as they start to move on from this core. So that's Painter, Aiden Miller, Justin Crawford. There's a couple more, but so if they're going to give up anyone from what they view as the next core, then it has to be to acquire another player or players who will form that core. Understand?
We knocked this question around specifically. Painter for Duran. And all three of us here, and Amy Fadul's with us today, all three of us said we have to do it. We have to do it. If it costs you Painter, because otherwise, if you come up with lesser than you're cheating yourself, possibly like bringing all the ammo to the table to try to win something.
Yeah, they're not doing that. Painter's a firm no from what I've heard from other teams. But they still think he's got a chance to be Garrett Cole. And, the command hasn't come all the way back in the first year back after Tommy John, but he's a move-the-needle player, and I just don't see it. Right. Would you trade Aiden Miller for Duran?
Yeah.
I think they would.
You would, maybe?
If they trade him.
You like Aiden Miller that much? You wouldn't trade him for Duran? No, she's saying no.
Very, very tempting. But wouldn't you need a bat back?
Yes.
Because he's got to be.
Aiden Miller can't play for me right now. So I get it why you won't get. Exactly. But he's going to, right? So it's like.
Duran's your closer for 3 years, three playoff runs.
Which is great.
All right, Jason, let's get to our stat of the week. Which is really interesting because it bumps up against some other numbers that the Phillies offense has not been that bad over the last 40 games. So what is our stat of the week?
Okay, here we go. Mike, you know how many home runs all the Phillies outfielders have hit combined this year? How about 30? It's almost August. The whole outfield, everybody they've run out there, has 30 homers. The outfield as recently as 2019 hit 94. I mean, Bryce was an outfitter then, and he was a 35-homer guy then, so that helped. But 94 to 30, the 2009 team went to the World Series. The outfield hit 88. Like Jason Worth, Raul Ibanez hit 70 between just the two of them that year. Yeah. Even 2023, that team should have gone to the World Series. That outfield hit 75 homers, and this outfield has 30. So why are they in the outfield section of the aisle, like of the big trade deadline superstore? That's why.
Yeah.
But it's why Stephen Kwan doesn't solve this problem. Just like bringing up Justin Crawford doesn't solve this problem.
Exactly.
Conversely, though,
Suarez does.
The last 40 games, 6th in runs scored, 5th in OPB, 3rd in OPS.
Yeah, what Jason was talking about, like that stat, like about a month ago, was like 16.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a glaring need for pop in the outfield.
Yeah, what happened a month ago? Bryce came back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really no doubt about it. That's exactly what happened.
Right.
All right. So, Jason, to summarize this, do they have enough offense right now without making a deal if they get a bullpen piece?
I think he'll get some complimentary bat. I don't think that's the main focus. Like I'm really dubious about Luis Robert. I know people love talking about it because they're there, but come on. He's got fewer homers than Cody Clemens. He's got a lower slug than Max Kepler. 2 straight years with a on base under 300. Well, come on,
I hear you.
I would never give up anything meaningful for that guy. They might, but I would never. And then he's going to get a late inning reliever. I just don't think that Duran is going to happen because the Dodgers are in that market, the Mets are in that market, the Yankees, the Blue Jays, the Tigers. There's just too many teams shopping in that aisle. How about Ryan Helsley? I'm not sure if they're going to move him, but price would be a lot less because he's a rental. And then I think this offseason, he's the guy they most want to sign. So you trade for him and then sign him. How would that work for you?
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. I'd have to be okay.
He throws 100.
Yeah, I love guys that throw 100. You know me. I'm a 100 man.
He saved 50 last year.
Yeah, I like him. I'll take it.
I could see something along those lines. I don't see like a David Bednar or like Kyle Finnegan, those kinds of guys. What big game have they ever pitched in?
Yeah,
Dave's not looking at that.
Jayson, always a pleasure. Great to talk with you, and we'll get you next week. And stay tuned because you're about to be busy.
Exactly. He's already.
Yeah. You're about to be busier than normal.
Great to talk to you.
Take care. Excuse me. There. What I did messed up. Yeah. Jayson Stark, and he joins us every week, every Wednesday on the 97.5 The Fanatic. So it's still General Knowledge Wednesday when you have a lot of people on hold who bailed out because we had Jayson. But you're back in because Ray Dunn is kicking your tail today. We have only 2 correct answers from the audience today, as opposed to Ray's 5. And the prize today, you win Phillies tickets against the Tigers Friday night. The big prize. It's the Mike Missanelli Show back after this.
Thanks for watching. I love these outro videos because I can actually talk with my hands and it looks normal here. So subscribe right here and watch some more videos for us. How about it?